everybody, this is Rune here, and today you're looking at my official first ever writing vlog! Yay! So today we're talking about tropes, but not just any old tropes. Get ready for 3 light novel tropes I can't stand! Before we begin, you all might be, well, probably not, but you all might be wondering, what is a light novel? Well, it's a form of Japanese literature that's shorter than a regular length novel, hence the name. Kind of like a novella. A lot of light novels end up getting adaptations into beautiful and compelling anime. So you could also say these are 3 anime tropes I can't stand. Oh, and please keep in mind, everything I'm about to say is strictly my opinion. None of these tropes are inherently bad. And you guys aren't bad if you happen to enjoy them. We all have our likes and dislikes, okay? But without further ado, let's get into the actual tropes. Number 1, harems. I think everyone in the anime community knows what a harem is, but for anyone who doesn't, it's when a character attracts the romantic interest of several other characters. Kind of like a love triangle, but with too many characters to be a triangle. The central character is usually male, the protagonist, and really dull. They look plain, they act plain, they are plain, usually with only a couple traits to set them apart from the rest of the cast. And those traits aren't often that defining. I think these characters are done this way in order to be relatable to the viewer. But in my opinion, it just makes them boring. I mean, is there anything more difficult to become invested in than the human equivalent of a cardboard cutout? Who's completely oblivious to any affection towards him, by the way. And somehow, all of these girls fall so hard for them, their heels might as well be kicking themselves in the face. Don't these women have types? I mean, as a female myself, I can say with confidence that I don't find just anyone attractive. I have a type, yo, and it's not cardboard cutout boys. Although I will admit, I do not dislike the harem trope as a whole. It really depends on the show, because I've seen some that either included or featured a harem, and they were pretty enjoyable. Like Sekirei, for example, which Pyra is a pretty big fan of. But on top of all that, one thing I never understood about harems is why, if the genders are swapped, it's called a reverse harem. I mean, whether the protagonist is male or female, it's still a harem. It's the exact same thing happening. Honestly, I think the reverse of a harem would be the main character falling head over heels for a handful of different guys or girls, all completely oblivious to the MC's affections. I'd pay to read a novel like that just because it's different and sounds funny to me. Number 2, isekai acceptance. Another genre I've enjoyed some examples of. Well, trope, not genre. But as with harems, isekai stories tend to have some issues that really stomp my flame out. For those who don't know, an isekai story is where a character goes to a world separate from theirs, usually through death and reincarnation, but not always. This genre is incredibly popular in Japan, to the point it feels overdone to a lot of folks in the anime and light novel communities. But while that may be their complaint with the trope, it's not one of mine. I actually don't mind seeing a basic premise used repeatedly. It can be so interesting to see how different minds can create such diverse stories from the same idea. Plus, it's almost impossible to come up with entirely original ideas anyway, so we all have to be okay with this to some extent. But no matter what story it is, I simply cannot stand when a character is reborn or offered a second chance at life, and they're just peachy about it. They don't get confused, they don't panic, they don't go into denial, they don't cry over their death, they just accept it. understand the huge appeal with the idea of starting life in a fantasy world where you can slay monsters, use weapons and magic, maybe even snag a cute elf or two. But these characters all had a life and families that were suddenly yanked from under their feet. I mean, do they seriously not feel even an ounce of remorse for what they're forced to leave behind? And I know this depends on the character, since not all of them could have had the best lives. Maybe some of them had horrible previous lives. But that's not all of them. That would be some of them. And yet I see this so often, it's just ridiculous. Maybe some authors do this specifically because it's done so often. Like, oh, you've seen this before. Yeah, I'm just gonna gloss over the details. But you gotta remember, maybe we've seen this in fiction a lot, but you're writing a character who is living through the situation. What is fictional to us just became reality for them. Have them show some emotion! And finally, we have number 3. Boys assault. I'd imagine some fangirls will rage at me for this one, but I don't care. This one definitely annoys me the most out of the 3. In fact, it might be the most annoying trope in the history of tropes and cliches. Well, at least for me. A boys' love story is basically a romance between male characters. It's a lot more simple to explain than the other tropes I listed. So before you all go out to buy pitchforks and boycott the virtual girl signs, hear me out. Pyra and I actually adore boys' love stories, okay? We love romance in general, but there's something extra adorable about 2 cute and or hot guys finding the best in each other and falling in love. Unfortunately, as my mediocre title for the oncoming trope suggests, yes, the boys' love genre suffers from abusive characters. Obviously, this isn't every BL story, but it's a good handful of them. To start things off, we have our cute, usually innocent main character who's just trying to get by in life, focusing on school or work, or maybe he's a delinquent, who knows? Then here comes along our hot, usually taller love interest, whom is quick to harbor feelings for the main character. So quick, in fact, this character has no qualms with forcing his affections onto them. I've seen this character corner the MC, forcibly kiss them, touch them, sometimes even intimately assault them. I'm not going to say the usual word, just in case YouTube decides it's a no-no, but you guys get what I mean. A recent anime Pyra watched had her cringing when this rude love interest gave, this was a side couple, so he wasn't the main character. He was the MC's friend. His love interest gave him an ultimatum. Either the MC's friend sleeps with him, or he will just leave his life forever. And this happened in the 2nd episode. The 2nd one! I don't even want to know how soon that would be in the light novel. In fact, all of the questionable interactions I mentioned tend to happen soon into the story, which I don't understand, unless the author is fishing for reactions. That's what you guys are doing, isn't it? Now, when I read a romance, no matter the gender of the people involved, I want to see their feelings blossom over time. Don't give us a kiss in the first couple episodes, unless the story calls for it. Make us wait. Tease a kiss if you'd like, but yank it away before it can actually happen. You want to make your readers yearn for the sweet moments. And to me, it just doesn't feel special when it happens too early. And half the time, it's just straight up abusive. Why are people still writing this? But anyway, there you have it. 3 light novel and anime tropes that make me want to eat my own eyes so I won't have to read/watch them anymore. I hope you guys enjoyed my opinions, and if you didn't, then oh well, I guess. But it took me a while to get the script put together, so I really hoped you guys liked it. Anyway, let me know what other writing related content you'd like to see. And if you enjoyed this video as much as I did, why not leave a like and definitely subscribe so you won't miss the next video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Bye bye!